Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football Dill late Monday night, and really one of the wilder storylines that we've seen in all of college football. Tennessee, UCLA, pretty much effectively swapping quarterbacks, right? Nico heads to UCLA, Joey Aguilar hits the portal. We had the conversation earlier today. Hey, could Joey Aguilar be the answer for Tennessee in the portal at the quarterback position? Josh Heupel wasted no time. And Dill, the thing that stands out to me, yes, are there question marks about Joey Aguilar? Yeah, absolutely. He's a guy that is a gunslinger in a good and bad way. Like, he's going to make some big time throws. He's also going to put the ball in harm's way a little bit. The reason I like Joey Aguilar more than a guy like Steve Angeli is, Dill, he gives Tennessee a higher ceiling than a quarterback like Steve Angeli. Like, Steve Angeli would be very kind of smooth sailing, but I don't think he was a quarterback that could be the difference maker to allow you to consistently win games at the upper echelon of the SEC levels. Like, look, Joey Aguilar, it might be a little bit more of a roller coaster from this kid, but he offers an upside with the body and arm that I think allows you to play at a pretty damn high level in the 2025 year. Dill, plus, I love the fit. Like, what's one thing we know about Josh Heupel offenses? He's going to make it easy for the quarterback from a decision-making standpoint. That's where Joey Aguilar struggles. Like, you see Joey Aguilar make a lot of bad decisions on his film in terms of where he's going with the football. He can make some high-level throws. In fact, I think that arm talent does not get enough credit. The only knock on him was, hey, we got to be a little bit careful with the football. Like, he comes to a Josh Heupel offense where that decision-making becomes a little bit less important, and you just got to go out and sling the pill around and make the plays and make the throws. Something that Nico at times struggled with in 2024. Like, Nico did not have, I don't think, a massive decision-making problem. He just had a consistency problem in terms of not making the throws you have to make to win games at the highest level. I think Joey Aguilar can do that, and you're going to put him in an offense where the decisions are, largely going to be made for you a little bit pre-snap, which I think is a massive, massive storyline for this kid. Want to get a little bit more into what he brings. Before we get into it, as always, the Tennessee fans, man, would love to hear how y'all are feeling. Like, we've spent a lot of time talking about quarterback options for Tennessee. Dill, it sounds like they like this kid, and that's really all I cared about. I wanted Tennessee to be patient. I wanted them to find a quarterback that they felt was the best fit, and that you can tell they like this because they wasted no time going after Joey Aguilar. Would love to hear from the Tennessee fans. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. It really has been a blast talking this football team, and the amount of support y'all have shown means the world. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Dill, Joey Aguilar, how are we feeling about it?
And if you listen when Nico's news first hit and what I kind of thought Tennessee should be looking for in terms of their next quarterback, this is kind of the guy I would have had in mind. Like, again, I don't think this does anything to change where you're at with McIntyre or Merklinger. Again, he's not like you're bringing in a sophomore, someone who's going to kind of be in that same group, but a guy who you feel really comfortable about if he is your day one guy. And frankly, I don't know, like Merklinger can beat this guy out. This is not like a foregone conclusion. I think that he's QB1, but at least if Merklinger is out there, you just feel really good about Merklinger. Whereas if they brought in a guy who was maybe not proven or had some issues or not issues, but just wasn't a guy you could depend on in his own right, then you probably wonder what your quarterback play is. But I think this is like the perfect piece to bring in for that competition and to make sure that you're at least serviceable at that quarterback spot in 25.
You wanted a guy with starting experience, and Joey Aguilar has 2 years of that. Now, I get it. It's not at the Power 4 level, but he's played a lot of football, and you're right. You kind of know what he is. Works off play action really well. Dill, I think the biggest thing that maybe Tennessee fans have to work through here is you look at Joey Aguilar and say, was elite in 2023. I mean, threw for 3,700 yards, 33 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions. Like, really was one of the better G5 quarterbacks in the country in the 2023 year. Well, the numbers dipped a little bit in 2024. I took it upon myself on my Monday afternoon to try to figure out what went wrong there. Dill, you look at the offensive line, not only on the film, but the numbers. Like, it just was a leakier offensive line. Like, if you can give Joey Aguilar a good run game and you can keep him clean in the pocket, like, that's when he gets into hot trouble with his decision making too. Like, when he gets pressure, he is putting the ball in harm's way more than you would like. if you can keep him clean and you can give him a good run game and let him work play action again, I think this is a guy that can elevate. And the other thing I love is Dill. He's a creative kid. Like he can get outside the pocket, extend plays. That was my biggest worry with Steve Angeli. Is again, if you make it perfect for Steve Angeli, he probably could be pretty dang solid. But I don't think he could be that difference maker that could elevate you in games against like Georgia or Alabama. I look at Joey Aguilar and say, I'm not sitting here right now and picking Tennessee to beat a team like Georgia with Joey Aguilar quarterback. But like, I think he gives you a chance because of the playmaking ability that this kid has at the quarterback position.
And again, you kind of said it, like not necessarily making him totally dissect defenses because the way
Yes. Oh,
Josh Heupel
yeah.
schemes it up, and that was the issue. This issue was having to go from read to read and then making a good decision with the ball. Like when he was working off of play action, kind of getting the ball out of his hands quickly, I thought he was pretty effective because again, he's got a pretty good release. He's relatively accurate. It just more comes down to not making particularly great decisions when he has to kind of really go through it. And when
Yeah, 100%. Like he makes really deal. I mean, let's chop it up here. Like Joey Aguilar versus Nico in the 2024 year. How about that? Joey Aguilar, 20 plus yards down the field, 37% completion percentage compared to Nico's 32. Was more accurate down the field than Nico in 2024. Big time throws. Joey Aguilar with a 26 spot in the 2024 season to Nico's 17. I think there will be a lot of people concerned about, well, his completion percentage dipped down to less than 60%. Still, his average depth of target was nearly 12 yards. Like he was asked to push the ball down the field. The completion percentage metric, I think, gets really overstated at times. I mean, if you are a quarterback in an offense that's being asked to make really high level throws, well, your completion percentage might be a little bit lower. It doesn't mean necessarily a bad quarterback. I mean, you look at Dylan Gabriel or Bo Nix at Oregon, they pretty much just throw bubble screens all day. Like, yeah, they have 75% completion percentages. Hopefully, no Oregon fans are listening to this. Like Joey Aguilar, yeah, the percentage was a little bit lower in 2024, but that average depth of target, man, they were pushing that pill down the field. And I'm not too concerned about the accuracy because you see it on the film of Joey Aguilar.
no, again, it's not about accuracy. It's very much about decision making. And I think you just look, Josh Heupel's track record with getting guys to make better decisions has typically been pretty good. Because even with Joe Milton, and Joe Milton was a very, very flawed quarterback, but within the Josh Heupel offense was able to at least like be functional.
Well, yeah,
Like we
the
saw like at
problem with Joe
Michigan.
Milton, and we know it at Michigan too, was like the consistency when the throws were there were just it was never good enough. Like he could throw the ball a million miles. Tennessee fans know that. The most important thing in a Tennessee offense, like what Hendon Hooker did so well, was the throws are going to be there for you. You just have to go out and make them. And there are going to be some high level throws that you are asked to make, but you have to make them. And Hendon Hooker was able to do that. Nico and Joe Milton at times, not so much. What I would stress here, Dill, maybe there's some Tennessee fans that are concerned with what he's the 81st quarterback available in the transfer portal. Dill, Hendon Hooker was ranked below of Jack Cohn going to Notre Dame, was ranked below TJ Finley, was ranked below Charles Brewer, who went to Utah. Like back in the day with Hendon Hooker in the portal, he was not a very coveted quarterback either. And he came into Tennessee and absolutely lit it
Oh,
up.
I mean, an
And so,
extremely flawed quarterback at Virginia Tech, like a guy who, again, good athlete, had some rushing chops, very, very weak passer for the most part at his Virginia Tech career. But that's why I can get to it. Like, again, you kind of poo pooed what he did with Joe Milton. Joe Milton, I think he got him to be playing serviceable football at
yeah.
Tennessee. That's saying a lot because that was, I mean, at Michigan, he was so bad, I thought, for the most part. I just look, Josh Heupel's just done a really good job with this type of quarterback for the past couple of seasons, let's say.
For really his career, if we're being honest with you. Like that's what Josh Heupel does. Like I don't know. In my opinion, the biggest winner here is Joey Aguilar, who gets to come into a Josh Heupel offense and play in the SEC. Not a lot of quarterbacks get that opportunity. We'll see how it turns out, and it's going to be a really fun. I mean, I don't know if we'll get a UCLA Tennessee matchup, but man, if we do, that would just complete the
No, one
storyline.
thing I will be kind of interested in is to see what Tennessee now can do in the portal because this is a bit of a dynamic shift, if you will. Like, I don't think Joey Aguilar is coming in and
Yeah.
getting anything near what they were supposed to be essentially paying Nico. So
Oh yeah.
this is a team that now I imagine has a fair amount of firepower. I'll be interested to see what they do on the offense side of the ball. There's not been a ton of guys who I think are difference makers for this Tennessee team, but man, if they could get another high level receiver, or maybe even a tight end, I think that does maybe change what you kind of look at, because that now Tennessee at least has the firepower, I think,
Yeah.
to really get aggressive
Look,
this way.
if you were to have gone and gotten a guy like Josh Hoover or a guy like Luke Altmaier, like that would have probably taken some substantial financial
Well,
back.
that would have been Nico. That would have been Nico money, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And Joey Aguilar, I don't think he's getting what Nico is supposed to get in 2025. So you're right. Like, let's see what Tennessee does in terms of in going back to Hendon Hooker. Like that's arguably the most important thing. Is like, can we get playmakers that can make plays? Like, what was what was there with Hendon Hooker was he had legitimate NFL dudes on the outside.
And
We'll
and
see.
you haven't seen that at Tennessee for the past couple of years. You haven't
Agreed.
had guys who like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be a day two, day one NFL draft pick. Like you just don't really have that right now. And again, you're excited about what Mikey Matthews or Staley can be in terms of like, can they bring you a little bit more juice and firepower on the edge than you probably had? But now Tennessee, I mean, they have a shot to go get really a difference maker should one hit. And again, maybe the only guy I look at right now is Trevor Pena. I'm not sure who else Tennessee really moves the
Braylon
needle.
Merriam from BYU. I prefer Chabor Pena any day of the week. We'll see what time. And Dill, it also allows them to answer some of the other questions they have on their team, like interior defensive line. They got maybe a little cheddar to go and get that kid from Syracuse on the defensive line, Murad Watson. We'll see. But they're sitting on some capital and they can do some serious roster building over the next couple of weeks. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. What a wild story. I think everyone's just pretty okay with the storybook being closed on the Nico Tennessee saga. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.